The sound that changed everything. One explosive sound turned a tense night in Houston into one of the most debated moments in hip-hop media. Charleston White was sitting inside a moving vehicle near Fifth Ward when the noise cracked through the air. Almost instantly, his voice changed. The jokes disappeared. The confidence turned into urgency. He repeatedly told the driver to keep moving, avoid stopping, and head straight toward the highway. But what actually happened in those few seconds? Charleston appeared convinced that someone had fired a weapon near the vehicle. Other people who later watched the footage argued that the sound could have come from a car, an engine backfire, or something else entirely. That single disagreement split the internet into two camps. One side believed the fear in Charleston's voice proved that the danger was real. The other side believed his reaction came before he had enough information to understand what caused the sound. What made the moment even more intense was the location. Charleston was not in an unfamiliar part of the city by accident. He had entered Fifth Ward, an area closely associated in hip-hop history with J. Prince and Rap-A-Lot Records. While already involved in a public war of words with the Prince family, minutes later, Charleston was no longer treating the incident like a misunderstanding. He was making serious allegations, claiming he had been targeted because of his previous comments. Those claims have not been established as fact, and no conclusion should be reached without verified evidence. Still, the footage captured something undeniable. In that moment, Charleston believed he needed to leave immediately. Now the question is bigger than one loud sound. Was this a genuine escape from danger? A terrible misunderstanding? Or the beginning of an online conflict that could spiral beyond anyone's control? Before we break down every clue, tell us where you are watching from. Press 1 if you believe Charleston genuinely thought he was in danger. Or press 2 if you think the sound was misunderstood. Subscribe to the channel, because the details that followed made this story even more complicated. Why Charleston entered Fifth Ward. To understand why the video became so controversial, you have to understand what Charleston White said he was doing in Fifth Ward that night. According to Charleston's own account, he traveled to the area for a birthday gathering. He later explained that he knew Fifth Ward carried deep cultural and historical connections to J. Prince, Rap-A-Lot Records, and the Houston rap scene. He also knew that his previous statements about J. Prince and members of the Prince family had already created tension online. That made his decision to appear there feel provocative to many viewers. Charleston repeatedly emphasized that he entered the neighborhood without a large security team. In his version of the story, showing up alone was proof that he was not afraid of the powerful reputation attached to the Prince name. Critics saw the situation differently. They argued that publicly announcing his location and entering an area connected to people he had insulted was reckless and designed to generate attention. That contrast is central to Charleston White's public image. His supporters view him as someone willing to confront reputations that others are too afraid to question. His critics believe he creates dangerous situations, then uses the reaction to build larger headlines around himself. Even before the mysterious sound was heard, the ingredients for a viral confrontation were already present. A controversial personality, a famous Houston neighborhood, an influential music figure, years of provocative commentary, and an audience waiting for something dramatic to happen. Charleston later said people approached him, asking him to apologize. According to his telling, the request was connected to his public attacks on J. Prince. There is no independently verified account establishing every detail of those encounters, but his description immediately added another layer to the story. If people truly wanted him to apologize, was the goal to calm the conflict or to send a warning? And if Charleston already expected trouble before arriving, did that expectation shape the way he interpreted every movement, every person, and eventually every sound around him? The footage under a microscope. Once Charleston released the footage, viewers began analyzing it like investigators. People replayed the clip at different speeds. They listened through headphones. They watched the people outside the vehicle. They examined the cars in the background. Every second became a potential clue. The strongest argument against Charleston's interpretation focused on the crowd. If a weapon had been discharged nearby, skeptics asked, why did the people outside not appear to panic? There was no obvious stampede, no immediate wave of people ducking, and no visible chaos in the short portion of video circulating online. To those viewers, the lack of reaction suggested the noise may have come from a vehicle rather than a gunshot. But supporters pushed back. A camera does not always capture the full scene. People react differently under stress. And a loud noise in a busy area may not produce the same response from everyone. Some may not recognize it. Others may freeze. Some may simply continue moving because they do not know where the sound came from. Then there was Charleston's reaction. His voice became urgent almost immediately. He instructed the driver not to stop and to find the highway. He sounded less like a man performing for the camera and more like someone who believed the situation had changed without warning. That emotional shift became one of the strongest points supporting his claim that, whether or not his conclusion was correct, his fear appeared genuine. However, genuine fear does not automatically prove the cause of that fear. A person can sincerely believe they heard a gunshot and still be mistaken. That distinction matters, especially when the situation involves serious public accusations against identifiable people. The clip therefore proves Charleston reacted intensely. It does not, by itself, conclusively establish who caused the sound, what produced it, or whether anyone intended to harm him. That uncertainty is exactly what made the footage so powerful. It gave both sides enough material to defend their own interpretation, but not enough to end the argument. The vehicle that could hold the answer. As viewers studied the background, one detail quickly became a major talking point. A vehicle believed by some commenters to be connected to an autonomous driving service appeared near the scene. That observation changed the discussion because self-driving vehicles often use multiple cameras and sensors to understand their surroundings. If such a vehicle was present and recording, people wondered whether additional footage might exist from angles that Charleston's phone never captured. Suddenly, the mystery was no longer limited to one shaky recording from inside a car. Could another camera show where the noise came from? Could it reveal whether someone raised an object, whether a vehicle made the sound, or whether the moment had been misinterpreted entirely? Could timestamp footage help establish the movement of people and vehicles before and after the incident? Those possibilities remain speculative. The public did not have confirmed access to any such recording, and there was no verified announcement proving that additional footage had captured the event. Still, the possibility gave the internet another reason to keep the story alive. For Charleston, external footage could become extremely important. If it supported his account, it could strengthen his credibility and transform an online allegation into a much more serious matter. If it showed a harmless mechanical noise or no visible threat, it could damage his claims and give critics evidence that the incident had been exaggerated. That is why the story became a battle over proof. Charleston said he had recordings, names, and information he intended to share with authorities. Those statements raised expectations. Once someone publicly suggests that evidence exists, audiences begin waiting for something concrete, not another live stream, not another insult, but material that can be independently examined. Until that happens, every theory remains just that, a theory, and the longer the evidence remains unclear, the more the conflict shifts away from what happened on the street and toward a different question: who controls the story online? Charleston turns fear into defiant. After leaving the area, Charleston did not disappear from public view. He did the opposite. He went online, appeared on live streams, repeated his account, and directly challenged the reputation surrounding J. Prince and Rap-A-Lot Records. His message was built around one central claim: he had entered Fifth Ward, faced what he believed was danger, and still walked away. That framing transformed him from a possible target into the main narrator of the event. Instead of presenting himself as shaken, Charleston quickly adopted a defiant posture. He mocked the idea that anyone controlled the city, criticized the public image of the Prince family, and portrayed his survival as proof that the fear surrounding them had been exaggerated. This is one of Charleston's most effective media strategies. He does not allow a story to remain focused on his vulnerability for long. He converts vulnerability into confrontation. Fear becomes evidence of bravery. A dangerous moment becomes a stage. The more people react, the larger his platform becomes. But that strategy carries serious risks. The louder the allegations, the greater the need for evidence. Charleston made statements connecting the incident to people associated with J. Prince. But those claims remain allegations unless supported by verified findings. Repeating them with confidence may persuade loyal supporters, but it does not replace an investigation. Critics argue that he was using outrage to keep his name trending. Supporters responded that his willingness to speak openly was exactly why powerful people disliked him. Neither side appeared willing to give the other interpretation much consideration. Charleston also discussed contacting federal authorities and pursuing the issue through official channels. That created a contradiction at the center of his response. On one hand, he treated the event as a serious matter requiring law enforcement. On the other, he continued using aggressive humor and public provocation that made the situation look like entertainment. Was he documenting a real threat or producing the next episode of an ongoing feud? The answer may depend on whether the evidence eventually matches the intensity of his words. J. Prince refuses the expected response. While Charleston filled live streams with direct attacks, J. Prince took a different approach. Instead of answering every allegation point by point, he posted a metaphorical message about refusing to lower himself to the level of people who provoke, insult, and spread contamination. He did not need to mention Charleston by name for audiences to connect the post to the controversy. The response was calculated, indirect, and open to interpretation. Supporters of J. Prince praised the message as disciplined. They argued that engaging Charleston in a loud public argument would only reward him with more attention. Every direct reply could generate another live stream, another headline, and another viral clip. From that perspective, refusing to participate was not weakness. It was strategy. Critics viewed it differently. Some believed the metaphor avoided the most important questions. They wanted a clear denial of any connection to the incident. Others interpreted the language as darker than a simple statement about ignoring provocation. Online commenters began debating whether the post was merely dismissive or whether people were reading threatening meaning into words that never directly expressed one. That ambiguity benefited both sides. J. Prince could maintain that he had not engaged in a personal shouting match. Charleston could present the message as proof that his criticism had reached its target. Social media pages could continue discussing every line without receiving a definitive answer. The difference in communication styles became part of the entertainment. Charleston was loud, immediate, emotional, and relentless. J. Prince appeared controlled, symbolic, and distant. One man tried to dominate the conversation through volume. The other attempted to control it through restraint. But silence and indirect language can be risky during a serious controversy. When questions are not answered clearly, audiences often create their own explanations. Rumors fill the empty space. Neutral statements become secret messages. Metaphors become alleged warnings. J. Prince may have avoided giving Charleston the direct confrontation he wanted. But his response did not end the story. It gave the internet another mystery to decode. The internet chooses sides. The conflict quickly became larger than Charleston White and J. Prince. Hip-hop commentators, live stream hosts, fans, critics, and people with personal opinions about Houston street culture all joined the debate. Some focused on the audio, others focused on Charleston's reputation. Many judged the story based on what they already believed about J. Prince. That is where facts became difficult to separate from public image. Charleston has built a career around saying what others will not say. To his supporters, that makes him fearless. To his critics, it makes him unreliable. Because controversy itself benefits his brand. J. Prince has spent decades connected to one of the most influential independent rap legacies in America. Admirers see leadership, business discipline, and respect. Critics associate his name with rumors and an intimidating reputation. Even when specific claims are unverified, both men entered the controversy carrying years of narrative baggage. Whack 100's reaction added another dimension. He described Charleston as dangerous, not necessarily because of physical force, but because Charleston understands how to use public accusations, official institutions, live streams, and viral media. That observation captured the real power struggle behind the dispute. In the modern rap world, danger is not limited to what happens in the street. A person can damage a reputation with a phone, a live stream, and an audience willing to repeat an allegation before checking whether it is true. Charleston understands that system extremely well. J. Prince also understands reputation. His influence has long depended partly on the idea that he is calm, connected, and difficult to provoke. A prolonged online argument could weaken that image by forcing him into Charleston's preferred environment. So the internet began judging not only what happened, but who was winning. Was Charleston exposing something important? Was he exploiting uncertainty? Was J. Prince showing discipline? Was he avoiding direct questions? The debate became less about one sound and more about two different forms of power, the old power of reputation and the new power of constant online attention, the credibility trap. For Charleston White, the greatest danger may not be physical, it may be credibility. When someone makes a major allegation publicly, the audience remembers it. If later evidence supports the claim, the speaker may be seen as courageous for refusing to remain silent. But if the evidence contradicts the story, the same moment can become proof that the speaker exaggerated, misunderstood, or manipulated the situation. Charleston certainly raised the stakes. He did not merely say he heard a suspicious noise. He connected the incident to an ongoing feud and suggested that individuals associated with J. Prince were responsible. Those are serious claims, and they require more than emotion, location, or prior conflict to establish responsibility. The argument from Charleston's side is based on context. He had publicly criticized the Prince family. He entered a neighborhood strongly associated with them. People allegedly asked him to apologize. A loud sound occurred as he was leaving. He interpreted those details as part of one connected event. But context can suggest a theory without proving it. The argument from skeptics is that Charleston expected confrontation, so he may have interpreted an ordinary noise through the lens of that expectation. If someone enters a situation already anticipating danger, every unexpected sound can feel like confirmation. This is why verified evidence mattered. Audio analysis, independent video, physical evidence, eyewitness testimony, and official findings would carry more weight than social media confidence. Until that information becomes available, viewers should avoid turning suspicion into certainty. The same standard applies to J. Prince. A powerful reputation does not prove involvement in an incident. Rumors repeated for years are not substitutes for evidence. Public dislike is not a legal finding. The credibility trap therefore surrounds everyone involved. Charleston risks damaging trust if his claims cannot be supported. J. Prince risks allowing speculation to grow if he responds only through indirect messages. Commentators risk misleading audiences when they present theories as confirmed events. In a story driven by uncertainty, the person who speaks most confidently is not automatically the person who knows the truth. What really happened behind the noise? After countless replays, live streams, arguments, and reaction videos, the central mystery remains unresolved in the material available to the public. A loud sound was captured. Charleston reacted with immediate urgency. He later claimed that the incident was connected to his feud with J. Prince. Skeptics argued that the sound may have come from a vehicle. Viewers examined the crowd and questioned why there was no obvious panic. Others pointed to possible cameras in the area that might contain additional evidence. Yet none of those details, standing alone, delivers a final answer. The most responsible conclusion is also the least satisfying. More verified information is needed. That does not mean the story lacks meaning. In fact, the uncertainty reveals something important about modern hip-hop media. A dramatic clip can become a national conversation before anyone confirms what occurred. Personal reputations shape interpretation. Fans choose sides based on loyalty. Algorithms reward the most emotional version of events, while cautious explanations struggle to compete. Charleston's strength is his ability to seize control of a moment before anyone else defines it. Within hours, he had transformed a confusing sound into a larger argument about fear, influence, Houston, J. Prince, and the mythology surrounding powerful figures in rap. J. Prince's strength is the opposite. He appears to understand that direct engagement can feed the person challenging him. His restrained response protected him from a chaotic back and forth, but it also left space for speculation to grow. Both strategies produced consequences. The more Charleston spoke, the more people demanded proof. The less directly J. Prince responded, the more people analyzed what his silence meant, until independent evidence, or official findings, clarify the incident. The public is left with competing narratives rather than established facts. One narrative says Charleston walked into hostile territory and escaped a genuine threat. The other says he entered expecting drama, heard an unexplained noise, and built a larger story around it. Chapter 10. We'll examine who gained the most from this controversy, the strategic mistakes made on both sides, and the larger lesson about how public feuds can move from entertainment to real-world danger, the real winner, and the lesson nobody can ignore. When the noise, the live streams, and the online arguments are stripped away, this controversy reveals a deeper battle over control, credibility, and influence. Charleston White's strategy was speed. He reacted first, spoke loudly, repeated his version across multiple platforms, and forced everyone else to respond to the story on his terms. That approach kept him at the center of the conversation, but it also created a major risk. The more serious the allegation, the stronger the evidence must be. Attention can be gained in minutes, while damaged credibility can follow a public figure for years. J. Prince's strategy was restraint. Instead of entering a direct shouting match, he answered with indirect language and allowed his reputation to carry much of the message. That may have prevented Charleston from controlling an extended public exchange, but it did not eliminate suspicion. When a response is too vague, the internet fills every empty space with theories, hidden meanings, and assumptions. Strategically, neither side achieved a clean victory. Charleston won attention, but now faces pressure to support his claims. J. Prince avoided a chaotic confrontation, but his limited response allowed the debate to keep growing. Meanwhile, commentators and fans helped turn an uncertain event into entertainment before the available evidence could establish what actually happened. The biggest lesson is simple. Public conflict becomes dangerous when ego moves faster than facts. A viral clip should not become a verdict. A powerful reputation should not become proof of guilt. Fear should be taken seriously, but serious accusations should also be investigated responsibly. When people confuse speculation with certainty, reputations can be destroyed, tensions can escalate, and real lives can be placed at risk. The most humane outcome would not be another challenge, another insult, or another threatening interpretation. It would be transparency, cooperation with lawful investigators, and enough restraint to prevent an online feud from becoming a real-world tragedy. Strength is not always shown by answering every provocation. Sometimes strength means stepping back, protecting the people around you, and allowing evidence, not anger, to determine the truth. Wherever the facts eventually lead, this controversy should remind the hip-hop community that peace is not weakness, accountability is not fear, and no viral moment is worth someone losing their freedom or their life. Now tell us what you believe. Press 1 if Charleston handled the situation correctly, or press 2 if you believe he escalated it too far. Share your opinion respectfully in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone following the biggest stories in hip-hop.